Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next installment called The Game of Thrones. And before I begin the Game of Thrones, I want to say what we're dealing with basically are two different kingdoms. One called the Deep State, which is Reptilian or the Atlantean Kingdom. The other is the Shadow Government, and that is the Fallen Kingdom or the Demonic Kingdom. Okay, now, before you can really understand what I'm going to be talking about in this series called with the Fallen and with the Reptilians, the Game of Thrones, you have to understand, watch the 3 videos that I recommended earlier by Rasben, R-A-S-B-E-N, where he talks about Mystic Philadelphia, Ben Franklin opening the gates of hell, stealing of the birthright, and corrupting the prophetic the prophetic timeline. That's it. So if you haven't watched those videos about with Ross Band, see that. Now what we're going to expose now is the fact that we're going to be talking about the Liberty Bell and it's called I think it's called University Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Now, this Liberty Bell is a symbol of America's cherished freedom. It is also a symbol of American independence from any foreign power, and is also a symbol of American freedom and democracy and peace. Okay, and it should be noted that the Liberty Bell is cracked and it's mute. So that should tell you a little about the Liberty Bell, how free and how independent this state or this city, this empire that was created by Benjamin Franklin and his people. Okay. Now there's 2 icons seen around the world as symbols of freedom and liberty. As I said, the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall, which is conjoined with Congress Hall, which is adjacent to it on the west. Now, also to let you know that this new creation that was created by Benjamin Franklin and the boys, other than the Liberty Bell being cracked and mute, and Independence Hall was something that was called later it was called the Declaration of Interdependence, which was presented on October 24th, 1975. Okay, was drafted by Henry Steele Commager. Okay, and it was introduced to in the Independence National Historical Park by several members of Congress. Okay, and it begins with when, in the course of history, the threat of extinction confronts mankind. I wonder what threat to extinction for mankind, where that threat was coming from. It says it is necessary with people to work together with people of all nations for mankind to survive. Isn't that interesting? But what's even more interesting is that it also says, and now we must join with other people, the other nations, to bring forth a new world order. So this was much before the New World Order speech that was given by George Herbert Walker Bush on September 11, 1990. So I've got to say also that during the founding of this nation created by Benjamin Franklin and George Washington and the boys, on September 17th, 1787, it was stated that we, the people of the United States, in order to perform a more perfect union, well, a union is two or more entities. So I'm thinking that those two entities were the deep state, which is the reptilian or kingdom, and the shadow government, which is the fallen demonic kingdom. Okay, in order to perform a more perfect union, establish this Constitution. Okay, and the thing is, this Constitution was so imperfect that it was amended 27 times so far in the course of its history. Okay, so I want to say that with this current coronavirus pandemic that is going across the United States and the world, this deep state shadow government alliance is the Earth's most ancient pandemic in my thinking. Okay, and then in this pandemic, it is mass demonic possession and reptilian hybrids who rule on the surface of this plane. Okay, so with that, that gives you some foundation of why the birth of the nation that was created by Ben Franklin and George Washington and the guys were demonic or wicked in nature, and that in essence it really put a curse on the United States of America. So stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to be going through the book of Matthew, where I'm going to be showing from that book how all of this how it plays a part with that book, and how it all plays together. Okay, so until then, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe, leave your comments, and see you on part 2 of this series called we're going to be talking about the Game of Thrones and the battle between the fallen kingdom, the reptilian kingdom, and of course the kingdom of heaven, because those are the three kingdoms who are fighting to see who are going to rule on the surface of this planet. So until then, take care. Shalom.